Hey, team. All right. We are still focusing in on the ADHD Focus Framework. And today, I'm going to talk about ADHD and time. Everybody's favorite topic. We all seem to think we don't have enough time, there's not enough hours in the day. Uh, ADHDers are really time blind. We struggle with uh, estimating time, how long a task is going to take. We're notorious for doing things like saying, I'm just going to do this one last thing before I go. And that one last thing we assume is going to take 2 or 3 minutes, and then it takes 15 because we're not good at estimating time. And then all of a sudden, we are running late and we're scrambling. Not all of us, but many of us. Some of us use anxiety, fear, whatever you want to call it, to fuel ourselves to get out the door on time. So I have sort of flipped to the other side. And instead of being late all the time, I'm still occasionally late. Um, I am more the person who makes sure I'm early. Sometimes things still go awry. I was a few minutes late to a meeting today because my lunch order was done wrong and I had to wait to have it remade. And I wasn't going to skip lunch. So that really takes us to priorities. And that's a big thing around time. So I'm going to talk about two areas around time. One is priorities and choosing where you're going to spend your time. More importantly, and these are together, interconnected, it's about where you're going to spend your energy. We all have the same amount of time. We all have 168 hours a week, and that's that. People choose where they're going to spend their time. So if you're, or maybe you don't even notice you're choosing, but you are choosing, uh, you may choose to watch TV at night. You may choose to read a book. You may choose to study and learn a course. I have a friend who I'm amazed by how much she learns. Well, that's because in the evening, instead of sitting down and watching TV with hubby, she's taking courses, which is fine. That's her prerogative. That is not what I do. I choose to have that time to watch TV with my husband. I am a notoriously early bird. That is pretty unusual with ADHD people. We tend to be more people who are night owls. I'm married to a night owl and I'm an early bird. So I wake up very early and get going with my day quite early. This morning I woke up at unfortunately 4:45. That's a good 45 minutes earlier than I would like to wake up. I don't mind waking up around 5:30, 6 o'clock. I wake up naturally in the morning, so it's not a big deal. I don't have to set an alarm clock unless we're like, say, catching a flight somewhere. And then I'm awake worrying about, am I going to make it on time? So I don't know why, but that's how I am. So you're, you don't have a time management problem. You have an energy management problem. So you have to figure out where are you prioritizing your energy and then focus it in on what's most important to get done. I'll give an example of a story a couple years ago. And this has happened since, but I always remember this particular story. I had some bill that I had to pay, and there was some complications around it, trying to find out who it was sent to, and I had to talk to them to figure out what it all was. And I'll never forget, I put it off and I put it off and I put it off and I put it off. And I spent more time worrying about that damn thing than I spent actually doing it. When all was said and done, it took me about 5 minutes. I notice now things like that I get done very quickly. So my husband recently handed me a bill. This is why this came up. Handed me a bill that was for my daughter. And I don't know what happened with their billing department, but this was a bill from November 2022. And it's not like we haven't paid it. It's just literally we never got the bill. And he said, "Who is this doctor?" And I'm like, "I have no idea." But instead of kind of pushing it off, pushing it off, pushing it off, I called the doctor's office and said, "Can you please call me back and let me know why our daughter saw you?" In the meantime, I texted her and I said, "Do you remember this? This is the time frame, etc." Took her a little while. Her first reaction was like mine. "Who the hell knows, Mom? What is this about?" I don't think she used those words. And then she said, "I'm pretty sure I had a sinus infection and I went to see that doctor for some follow up. I don't remember exactly what it was, but testing, etc." And we realized, and it was very funny because they called to tell me what the deal was. And I started laughing because I'd already found out. I said, "Actually, we've talked to my daughter. And by the way, the check has been written and we're putting it in the mail now. Not a problem." we forget stuff and we don't remember time. We just, it's not our superpower when we have ADHD. And by the way, it cannot be your superpower if you're overwhelmed and have a lot going on, because now your brain's running a million miles a minute, what I call 50 tabs open at any given time. And you need to sort through those tabs. You need to focus in and prioritize on what's that one thing you need to get done. So right now it's 3:52 p.m. where I live, and I walk with my neighbor every day around about 4. So any minute now, I figure I'm going to get the text saying it's time to go walk. But I wanted to get this video done. So I have 2 things I need to get done before I change out of these nice clothes. One is to get this video done and out to all of you, because I promised that each day I was going to cover one of the modules, a little taste of what each module is. So today's is time, which is the 4th out of 5 modules. And the other thing I have to do is look into a vestibular therapist closer to home, because God bless my doctor, he's in Norwalk, and I drove down there and drove back. And when you're having a vertigo, apparently driving is not very easy. Wasn't so bad going down, was really difficult coming back. So I'm trying to find a specialist closer to home so I don't have to drive quite so far for that. So that is the second thing I've got to get done. That's a priority. And that's how I'm spending my time, right? I'm cognizant, because I'm looking at the clock, that at 3, it's 3:53. So in 7 minutes, Eastern time, by the way, for those of you in a different zone, in 7 minutes, I need to be getting on my workout clothes and contacting my neighbor so we can go for a walk. That's blocked in my calendar as a time. And it is also, it's a habit. Like, we've built this habit where we walk together. So she's like my workout accountability buddy, which is awesome. We're going to be talking about some of that too. That's really more tomorrow when we're talking about sustaining your success. How do you continue to keep these new habits you're building in the ADHD Focus Framework? So if you're interested in joining, if you know someone who you think would really benefit from this, it's bit.ly, and Lee is Ly, bit.ly /AF framework, for ADHD Focus Framework, AF framework. All the letters are small, no capital letters at all. I hope I will see you in there. We start Tuesday, February 20th. So you're kind of running, speaking of time, you're running out of time to sign up. Okay. So you really want to check out that link today. See if it's a good fit for you. It's $297. It's the second time I'm running it. It's a great program. We had great success. I have had clients come back to me and say that they are on track. They're much better at prioritizing and planning. They have a better sense of where their time is going. One of my clients loves time tracking so much that he does it every day, which is incredible. Like, time tracking, you're supposed to do like 3 or 4 days, get a sense of what it is. But he said it really helps keep him on track. So that's the tool that works for him. We'll talk about what that means in ADHD Focus Framework. So I hope I see you there. bit.ly /AF framework. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.